Podcast, WATP.
Aaron Imholte went on Hughesy's show this past weekend to talk about boxing. He's like, yeah, I'll come on. We'll talk boxing. Everyone wants to know what Aaron has to say about boxing, of course. And they bring on That Aussie Guy from the United States of Australia. And after they talk about boxing for a little bit, That Aussie Guy wants to talk to Aaron about steel toe and about Aaron Imholte. And Aaron, and I know everyone's covered this to death. We're going to go through this only because people need to know the context of the interview that happened. But what I really want to focus on is the aftermath when Aaron decided to rewrite recent history when he came back to his show. Even though everyone's seen what happened, he is going to explain it in a way that did not happen at all. And it's crazy. This guy is so delusional, or he's purposely just gaslighting everyone. He thinks that his audience isn't going out and watching what's going on outside of his show. So this is how it starts. And I'm glad that Chrissie's here. Chris, you've probably seen this, right?
Yes.
Okay. It's definitely made the rounds. Everyone's been talking about it. Blind Mike and Tuah and Melton and everyone. But I'm not going to play all of it. I know there's like a good 20 minutes. It's very interesting. We're going to hit the highlights and then move on.
I mean, we could talk Vikings if you want to soften the blow a little bit. But no, I wanted to ask you about your show because, like, people are talking about the fact you did mention going back to radio in September. I'll just give my own overview thoughts. It does come across at the moment, whether you like it or not, it comes across that you actually hate your show right now. Like, I'm wondering, and a lot of people are wondering, what's next for your show? Is the radio thing still happening? Have you gone back and you just haven't told any of it?
It is. There was a little...
Okay, first question. Seems like you're not enjoying yourself. You've been mentioning you're going back to radio. Is that still happening? Because he was saying it was going to happen in September. We're now in September. So, Extremely reasonable question. Remember, you're Aaron Imholte from Steel Toe on someone else's show. If I went on someone's show and they go, Carl, WATP last week, you had a guest on, they talked over everything, and it kind of ruined the segment, I'd be like, yeah, I'll address that. I would expect to have questions asked of me about me or my show. That's why you're on a show. And that's a very tame question, especially considering Aaron himself had court. And this is weeks ago, not the most recent court date, but the one back in August about the HRO. And he exclaimed that it was like a day off that he got to go to court rather than do his show. That would tell me he hates doing his show, because going to court to figure out if you're going to go to jail for 90 days or go to 1 year probation, which is what he got, is not as fun as doing a comedy show.
That's not my idea of a day off, but
No.
you know.
So a very fair question, especially because he's also going, we're going to get back on the radio. Right. The internet doesn't get this. I don't like the internet. I want to go on the radio. So that's the first question. Let's see how he responds.
Thing that happened back in May that we're going to have to take care of before that all gets handled. But yeah, no, everything's great. I love doing my show. I get people kind of read a little too much into stuff on the internet. I get it. I just don't take the bait. And I think that's a lot of the big problem. I don't, hang around after the show and read shit and watch shit and stuff like that. So if that means it doesn't seem like I'm interested in it, I apologize. I'll put in a little more effort, but no, I still have a good time.
So he totally changed what the question was. Oh, am I not reading the negative comments enough? That's not what he said at all.
Yeah.
He said, it doesn't seem like you're enjoying the show. And then Aaron turns it into, oh, I'm not reading. Now, I've noticed just recently, if you go to Aaron's videos, he not only goes in and comments on people's comments, he's obviously also deleting comments. So he is putting in this time that he's claiming he's not putting in. So that's embarrassing.
Uh-oh.
He's always on the defensive, and
Yes.
he's always lying.
Right.
Bad combination.
All right. So he tried to twist into turning into, okay, I mean, if you want me to do more of that, I can do that. Not what we asked at all. Just, are you enjoying this? Doesn't seem like you are. Okay. Next question.
But there is a lot of examples of you, like, you are honestly just sitting there going, we've got to hit this goal. Like, the goal is kind of consuming what you are at the moment, and you're constantly back to that goal. And
well, yeah, I mean, you got to make enough money to keep going, but I have a good time doing it. I really do. And
Now, again, this is a good follow-up question, because what Dean is saying, the Aussie guy, is he's saying, yeah, but then when you have to beg for money, you even come out and say you hate this part of the show. It's stressful. You look like you're stressed out about it. You go, guys, come on, please just give me this money because this is what people make fun of us for. You're all twisted up in knots with your posture. And so that's a great question. No, I'm having a great time. Well, it doesn't seem like you are because you're constantly asking for this money and it's a big part of the show now. And it seems like you're not enjoying that.
I'm having fun, asshole.
Good, but I'm just pointing that out because that's a good follow-up question to that.
I do. I appreciate your concern. I'm not trying to belittle it or anything like that.
I love that. I appreciate your concern. Dee's like, I'm not concerned. Don't turn this into like we're worried about you kind of thing.
I have a good time doing it. I don't know what else to tell you.
Okay.
About 12 months ago, well, not about, exactly 12 months ago, you said if you're still begging for money in 12 months, that'd be the end of it. Have you seem to have changed?
There's a lot of shit that's changed in 12 months, believe me, buddy. Yeah. And just like everything else I say, I'm allowed to change my mind whatever the fuck I want to.
You are allowed. So that's it. You just change your mind. Your attitude's changed. You're happy to just keep going after that goal.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Does it bother you? Like, does it?
Oh my god! Like, is there a certain way you want me to answer you? Is there?
No. I'm just asking.
You had one question and I didn't answer it the way you wanted to, so now you're asking me kind of the same question 3 different ways.
Did you get that take that he asked the same question 2 different ways? I don't think so.
No, actually, Aaron didn't answer the question.
Well, Aaron's guard is up.
Totally.
He doesn't like when people press on him, and he doesn't like when people observe. He's a person who's very much on the internet every day, but hates when people make observations about him.
Well, and I'll say this. The answer to that question that Dean accepted was, I changed my mind. Great. That's the question. You said 12 months ago, if you're still begging on the internet, you're not going to do this anymore. And you're still doing it. I changed my mind. Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Because the other answer could have been like, I know. I just need a couple more months. We'll figure this out. I got these legal issues. We need to make money. Or I'm going to be back in radio and then there won't be any more of this back. Like, there's other answers to that. I changed my mind is one of those answers. That's the answer he gave. And then he's like, well, you don't like the answers I'm giving you. And he's like, no, it's fine. That's why I'm asking these questions, to get these answers. Those are 3 different questions. They're related, but that's what follow-up questions are.
He's not comfortable.
He's not comfortable. And so now he needs to find a way out of this conversation. So he's decided that his way out is to say, oh, well, I'm being sandbagged here. I didn't realize that I was going to be asked questions about me and Steel Toe, because why would I be? I'm only Aaron Imholte.
Is it?
No, it's just an interview process. If you want to do an interview with me, I'd be glad to do an interview with you.
Okay.
That would be great. I'm not here to do an interview with you today.
Wow.
And I'll be honest with you, you trying to like start an interview with me today under the pretext of this, I'm not impressed by it. I don't like, it seems a little like backdoor shenanigans.
I mean, Hughes invited me on the show and I came on the show.
No, I'll do an interview with you. If you want to DM me or talk to me or anything, you want to set up an interview or something, we can do it.
You want to do an interview tomorrow?
He feels bamboozled. So did Aaron not know this Aussie guy was going to be a guest?
He didn't.
Does Aaron know that Hughesy's there?
I love Hughes during this. Hughes played this perfectly. I just want to point that out. Yes, it is fantastic. His like mouth's agape, like, is this happening? Whoa! Meanwhile, he set all of this up to happen. So, so Aaron is saying right here, he's just like, oh, I'm not impressed that you asked me questions. Well, no one's looking for you to be impressed. That's a weird word to use. I'm going to point out a few times we use these weird words to manipulate people. No one's trying to impress you, Aaron. Just the opposites. We're not impressed by you in any way, and that's why we're trying to figure out why you think you should be hosting a show that people should give you $30 for every single fucking morning.
His language is like he wants everyone to know he thinks he's high status, and this guy is not. Rather than like, I don't know. Sorry if I'm coming off this. And he's also showing his cards in the process. Like, everyone can tell you're uncomfortable, and now you're telling everybody that you're uncomfortable.
Now you just heard him say, "Look, if you want to set up an interview, then let's do that."
Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, I do my show.
The fucking Vikings are on tomorrow. Tomorrow's Vikings Day, my friend.
They're not at 10 a.m.
The whole day is Vikings Day. No, I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of fucking around. I probably won't do an interview with you.
Oh, well,
I probably won't. You just kind of the whole way you kind of jumped on this when this was pitched is like, we're gonna go on and talk boxing and shit today. I'm not impressed by it. I'm not impressed by how you went about doing this.
Hughes invited me on the show. It's not like,
well, not to interview me though. Like, not to interview me. It's kind of, no offense, kind of a scumbag move.
Scumbag move.
That's
All right,
how I perceive it.
let's talk scumbag moves. What about you told a story about how you got like nose to nose.
No. I'm not gonna
Nose with your
we're not
wife
gonna
in
sit
an
here
argument.
and do fucking Aaron stories. If you want to sit here and impress, I don't know who you're trying to impress.
I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm asking you
through
questions.
everything I've ever done. I'm not interested. I'll be honest. If you want to cut it here, we can cut it here, and then we can keep going. If you want to make this about all the problems I have with Aaron Imholte, figure that out on your own time.
Okay, Aaron, that's fine.
Any issues, if you say one more fucking word about any problem you have with me, I'll be glad to take off. I got better shit to do.
Wow.
It's interesting.
Wow, it looks like he's just on Amazon.
Yeah, he's shopping right now. But what's very interesting about that is that Aaron went to the name calling first.
Yeah.
Aaron goes, that's a scumbag move. You come on here and ask me very vanilla questions about my show that anyone should be able to answer. Do you enjoy doing your show? Are you going to go to radio? You know, it seems like you're not having a great time.
He's trying to intimidate him into backing off and apologizing and being like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
But back to those questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are vanilla. They could have been answered in 5 words or less.
Easy.
Yeah.
And so he goes, oh, you're a scumbag. That's a scumbag move. He's like, oh, speaking of scumbag moves, I saw court documentation that you beat April.
Yeah.
That seems like a scumbag move. Then Aaron's like, oh, shit, I should have said scumbag.
Back to boxing talk.
Yeah, let's get out of here real quick. But that's the thing is that Aaron has a lot that he wants to hide and cover up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why he's concerned about this. But the worst part is he's calling this guy chicken shit. The worst part about this is the fact that he goes, listen, if you want to interview me, we can set that up. He's like, great. I have a show tomorrow morning at 10. We can do that. He's like, okay, I'm actually not going to do that. Oh, you got called. Good try trying to bluff. And you got called
Aaron,
on it.
You can't control. You go on any show. You don't know what any show is going to be about at the end of the day. Any podcast could go anywhere. You stop trying to control something you cannot control.
You should expect it. You should expect when someone invites you on to talk about boxing that they might also want to talk about steel toe on top of that. Just saying. And then, so this gets a little bit more heated and Aaron just kind of shows who he really is.
Can I talk, please? I just let you talk. Can I talk?
If you're going to say one more fucking word about me or anything you were trying to do with me or anything else, no, I'm not going to let you talk. Because honestly, it was kind of a shitty, underhanded way to try and bring up issues you have with me. I don't know who you are.
I don't have issues with you.
I'm not familiar with you. But now you're asking me all this shit about me on a show where I'm a guest. I didn't come here to be interviewed by whoever the fuck you are.
Oh, there's a tell. There's a tell right there. Chrissie, you already picked up on this. Yeah. Whoever the fuck you are.
The high hat.
I don't need to be talking to Aussie Guy. No one's even heard of you. Who cares who the guy is? He's asking you relevant questions about your life. And we wouldn't know about Aaron's life. He's the one who told all of us. This is the crazy part about all of this.
That's also his favorite topic of conversation is himself.
Yes. We wouldn't know about the wife swapping and the drug use and what April's up to and Nick Rekieta and all this stuff, except for he had to go on Keno Casino and MLC and make the rounds and talk all about all the details. Oh, was he on Sipcast?
Yes.
I remember that. Oh, I apologize for leaving that out. I remember that now. Yes. He was.
I wish Husey would step in at some point and say anything.
No, this is actually perfect. Husey's playing this perfectly. I love that he's just letting this happen because it's really revealing who Aaron is.
I'm just asking questions people want answered, Aaron. That's
then they can watch then they can watch my show and they can ask him.
Okay, but Aaron, it's fine. This is Husey's show, and I don't want to ruin Husey's show and have his guests walk off because of me. So if you're not going to answer my questions, then fine, I'll drop it. It's fine. You've stated who you are here today. You are a coward and don't want to answer my questions. That's fine.
You are perfect. And Dean's handling this perfectly. He's like, listen, I don't have a problem with you. I was just asking some questions. If you don't want to answer them, it just shows you're a coward and you're not going to answer them. Perfectly played. I'll stop talking kind of thing. This is how Aaron handles this.
Complete chicken shit. Oh, you are cute. I'm sorry you didn't get the one-on-one sit down with Aaron that you wanted. I apologize.
I got invited on the show and I said,
he called him chicken shit. Based on what?
No.
He asked you a couple questions, and then you got defensive and started talking over him, and you started calling him names first, and then he brought up
he's trying to be tough. Meanwhile, he's freaking out on the inside.
Right, and
he lost control.
This isn't some internet rumor, like Aaron wants to say, like, oh, you're just reading subreddits and stuff. It's like, no, your ex-wife filed a court case for a restraining order that included text messages between her and your current wife at the time, April, about how you were physically abusing her. And this is all documented in court case, and we've seen all the paperwork. So these are relevant questions. Now, Aaron could say, I can't talk about that. I'm under this restraining order, as you know. I can't talk about this. But instead, he's got to be a bitch about it. Be like, oh, you're being chicken shit. We're trying to turn it like, we're the audience are going to be like, yeah, Aussie Guy's being chicken shit. Like, we're based on
the right
what?
word.
Yeah. And Aussie Guy's like, people want to know the answers to these questions.
Yeah.
Aaron says, yeah, when I do my show.
Which he does not address these questions on his show. He blocks people.
Yep.
Absolutely, I'll take the opportunity to talk to Aaron.
Kind of shitty, though, for you to agree to go on someone else's show and go, I want to ask questions to Aaron on Hughesy's show. It's it is kind of a chicken shit move, though. Like, you're kind of a bitch for doing it that way.
For getting invited on the show and coming on the show.
Well, because it seems like you had ulterior motives. Like, oh, come on, when Aaron... I get it, dude. Everyone operates that way when it comes to me. I'll go on Hughesy's show, and I'll get to sneak in a few questions about Aaron that I saw on Reddit. Dude,
how would I have known about this if Hughes didn't invite me?
Mike Tyson, you're kind of a rat fuck piece of shit. Like, it's kind of a bitch move.
Oh, I'm a rat fuck.
You're kind of a rat fuck piece of shit. Yeah, you're a little bit of a rat fuck piece of shit.
So he calls him a rat fuck piece of shit. He calls him that about 20 times during this interview. He just repeats that over and over again, which, by the way, if you're trying to win an argument, just insult the other person over and over again with the same insult. That's a great way to do it.
I can't believe this is the first time I'm seeing this.
Oh, yeah, this has been making the rounds.
I love watching Hughesy.
It's great. He's like, whoa, what's going on? Fireworks on my show. What's going on over here? So this whole idea that he is now trying to twist this and make it seem like Aussie Guy is the one who's being an asshole, but to call him a rat and then Aussie Guy be like, I'm not the one who told the cops on my wife and got her arrested. You are. Boy. Don't use the word rat with me, which to Dean's, Aussie Guy's credit, that's the right response to that. You're calling me a rat? You motherfucker.
Wifing because she left you. She decided you're
that's what you wanted to do. I got you to admit it. That's what you wanted to come here for. You didn't give a shit about Hughesy's show. You didn't give a shit about what he wanted to do.
You just called me a rat. You just called me a rat.
You wanted to talk about Aaron. You wanted to talk about me.
Of course, Aaron. Of course.
Thank you for admitting it.
You've got all this crazy shit going on in your life.
Of course I do.
Why wouldn't I want to talk about it?
The Steel Toe Morning Show, 6 to 10 a.m. Central Time, to hear all about it instead of Dean Hoozits from Australia.
So Aaron right there pretended that he caught Dean in this amazing thing. Oh, you just wanted to interview me and ask me questions that people want answered. Ha! I got you. And he's like, yeah, of course. That's what I'm doing. He literally set it up like, hey, I'm going to ask you a few questions about Steel Toe. And then he started asking pretty benign questions about Steel Toe. And then Aaron,
you're allowed to ask questions of another guest on the same show you're on. Where does it say that you can't do that?
It's insane. And so he acts like he just caught him in something where he's just like, oh, I figured it all out. You're trying to ask me questions. You want answers. And he's acting like Dean's being the coward. Aaron's obviously being the coward on this one.
A little bit of humility and honesty would go a long way for Aaron.
Well, he even goes on to say after this, he goes, now, if I had known there was going to be an interview, if you guys would have told me that when we set this show up, that'd be something different. Yeah, that'd mean you wouldn't be here. You've already proven that by saying, I won't do that.
Yeah, you would say it's Vikings Day or whatever.
The questions and answers would have been prepared to his liking.
Correct. Yes. All right. So this is more name calling and saying that Dean is a rat fuck piece of shit because that's how you win arguments.
Okay. And now you got to go on a show and you got to say that.
Yes, I got to tell you in your face.
And I still think you're a rat fuck piece of shit.
That's great, dude. I'm happy for you to feel that way.
But the fact that you did it like a little bitch is my like. I don't.
Cool. I'm a bitch, Aaron. I'm a bitch. Does that change the fact that there's 2 women you're not allowed to talk about because you're so harassive and abusive? You're not allowed to talk about. Does that change that fact that I'm a rat fuck
that's
piece of
a fact. That's 100% a fact. You are a boilerplate. Like, you are a stereotype. You're not even a real guy. You're just kind of an amalgamation of message boards. That's you're just kind of an ooze. You're kind of an amorphous blob.
So now his response to, hey, there's 2 women you're not allowed to talk about because of court orders, because you fucked up that badly, the revenge porn to Gino Bisconte for Kayla Ricada. And then, of course, Ashley LaRue, his ex-wife, who they were talking all sorts of mad shit about, hoping she dies and stuff like that. So he's court ordered to not talk about these women. And so because this is getting, the conversation is going in this combative nature, this is getting brought up. It wasn't in the questions originally. No. It wasn't until Aaron fought back at this guy like, you chicken shit, piece of shit, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he was asking if he's going back into radio.
Yeah, that's all he was asking. Doesn't seem like you're having a lot of fun. What's going on here? And so then he turns this into, well, you just read that on a message board somewhere. Okay. Does that change the fact that this is a good question to ask you? What does that have to do with anything? And Aaron says he wakes up and goes on Kiwi Farms every day because he loves to look at what Kiwi Farms is saying about Nick Rekieta and Patrick Melton. So he loves message boards and he reports on it on his show when it comes to that. But now it's about him.
This tells me that he is not having fun and he doesn't like that has been made obvious to the viewer.
Correct. Very correct. So one more clip from this interview and then I'll get into Aaron trying to gaslight everyone and rewrite recent history.
Never lie. But you know what? Dude, I get it. You didn't like me when you came in here, so you look for things that could have confirmation bias. You go to imright.com. You go, there could never be another side to this story. It has to be what I need to believe about Aaron. It's okay, dude. I've met.
Court documents have said you choked your wife and headbutted your wife. My confirmation bias from court documents.
I'll be honest with you. There's 1,000 people just like you that operate the exact same way. I'm not impressed by them. I'm certainly not impressed by you. And I understand that feeling's mutual, buddy. And I tell you what, next time, be a man. Fucking say what you want to do.
I've done that before, and you blocked me.
Because you're always a piece of shit. If you're always behaving like it's going to be hard for me to want to talk to you. And people in general in your life, you'll find this. If you're going to come at them with the energy of a piece of shit and a kind of a backroom dealing, like I said, rat fuck piece of shit, which is pretty accurate, they're not going to want to talk to you.
He did not come at him at all like that. That's why I wanted to back up and show his original questions. He did not come at him with any kind of energy or anything. They're just like, hey, I wanted to ask you some questions about Steel Toe. You know, you're a lolcow, and we were all talking about you, so we wanted to get some answers.
This is what it turned into, and it's all Aaron's fault.
Jeez.
And so Aaron's response is, there's 1,000 people like you, as if that takes the validity out of the question.
It does.
Could you imagine
just the opposite?
Right. Could you imagine you're talking to Kamala Harris and you're like, the failure at the border kind of was on you. You were kind of set up to be the person to take care of that. Oh, you're talking about the failure at the border, just like everyone else. I'm not impressed. Talking about that. What else you got? It's like, no. You still have to explain yourself.
Yeah, we're not moving on. Yeah,
even though there's millions of people talking about this, you still have to explain yourself for it, right? It's weird.
Wow.
All right. So he did not handle that well at all. He came off real douchey, defensive. And this is him claiming victory the next day on his bonus show for his supporters.
Another win.
Husey asked me to talk boxing on his show. And I said, yeah, dude, I love talking boxing. Like, I don't usually do anybody's show, but I love Husey. Husey's a good dude. And he's like, do you want to talk boxing? And I said, yeah. I had like a half hour, 45 minutes before we went to that beer and cider festival. So Husey brings me on, and I thought we were going to record it for a video he was going to do. Didn't know we were going live. I don't think it would have mattered, but I didn't know we were going live till I, logged in. Then he said, I've got my buddy Dean coming on. I was like, Dean? Then he brings on this dude, and I look at him. And when I looked at him, this was awesome because Steel Toe haters wanted this to be like a big exposure moment, but I sniffed this guy out from Jump Street, and you can tell if you go watch it. We talked boxing for like 15, 20 minutes. And I'm a little disappointed in my boy Husey because he kind of set this up to be like a drama farming thing, but I knocked it out of the park, dude. So this guy, Dean, he's like, Dean, do you have any questions you want to ask him? Terrible Husey impression. And as soon as he said that, I'm like, I got this guy, Dean. He's like a Melton guy. He's like a Steel Toe hater. So he starts asking questions, and they're clearly negative, tilted Steel Toe questions, but in a really passive bitch kind of way. Like, he didn't just say, like, Aaron, I hate you. I despise your show. I talk shit about you all the time.
Wait, that would be better?
Right. So I think Dean could have said, "Oh, the number 1 on your jersey. What's that?"
Yeah, what player is
he
that?
would have been like, "You rat fuck piece of shit. I'm on to you."
No, it doesn't make any sense. So now it doesn't matter how he approached it.
No.
Dean approaches perfectly.
Yeah.
Just kind of a conversational tone when I ask you some questions. And he goes, I wish you would have told me he fucking hates my guts. And this is the problem that Aaron has. That he can't associate people laughing at him and not necessarily disliking him. I don't have any hatred towards Aaron Imholte. I've talked to the guy a few times. There's no animosity there. I think he's a clown and he's doing everything wrong on the internet. And so we're pointing it out and having fun with it.
Yes.
And Aaron's just like, you want me to, he even said this on the show this week. You all just want me to die.
He needs to be respected and feared.
Yes. You guys just want me to die, don't you? No, not at all. I don't want anyone to die. That's ridiculous. You sound like a child when you say shit like that.
Wow.
You mother for whatever. He's like asking me these Reddit questions.
Reddit questions. As if Dean isn't following this. I've had Dean on my show when I got it all wrong about Aaron, and I'm like, oh, he's going to come back with April, and it's going to be this huge surprise that they've been together this whole time. And then I found out that I was totally wrong. So I brought Dean on my show along with Tuah and Soft Weekly, and I'm like, how did I fuck this all up, guys? Explain this to me. And they're following it very closely. Dean's following this. He knows his shit. And Aaron tries to break it down to, oh, he read a post on a subreddit somewhere and then asked me these questions. Like, no, he knows what's going on. He's following this.
And I just start answering them one after the other. And I just start banging them out. And finally, like, I was humoring him. I was basically patting him on the head. And then he goes, and then he starts asking the same question like 3 times in a row. And I'm like, dude.
So that's completely wrong. He's asking me these questions, boom, boom, and I'm banging them out, boom, boom, boom. And then he asked me the same question 3 times in a row. Well, no, it was just 3 questions. And it wasn't, as we've pointed out, there were follow-up questions going on. So that's not accurate at all.
Interesting. But why go live? Don't go on shows. Don't make appearances if you know there's things out there that you're not ready to talk about.
Yeah, I know. Good point.
No offense. I've humored you, but I know what you're doing. Like, I'm not dumb. You asked me a question. You don't want to admit that you A-logged me, basically. And you're not getting the answer you want, so you keep asking the question the same way. And he's like, oh, what? No, Aaron, these are on. Like, he tried to play it like he was a journalist. I'm like, dude, I've got you dead to rights. Come on. And then he keeps trying to ask questions. Then finally I dragged it out of him. And he starts to get it. Oh, you hit women, which is horseshit. But, like, he's like, you're this, you're that. And he starts bringing up all these Reddit talking points or, like, Melton talking points. And I'm like, gotcha, Dean. And honestly, I didn't know he didn't want to be called Dean. He
doesn't care about that. Don't turn that into a thing.
Yeah.
Aaron, he doesn't care that you called him Dean. Okay. So these completely changed what happened, completely changed reality already, where he's just like, he had this gotcha moments and Dean didn't know what to do. And listen to this. It gets even crazier here.
Dean. And I just start ripping into the guy. I just start shitting on him. And he just wants to keep asking and saying the same shit over and over. So I just shout over him. And I just start fucking shitting on the guy. To the point where super chats would come in trying to help Dean. And I would go, oh, I don't know, Dean. I look pretty good today, don't I? And he would go, well, actually. And I would go, shut the up, Dean. Nobody gives a shit what you think. And I just start laying into him. It was fun, honestly. I called him a rat piece of shit. I said, you're kind of being a rat piece of shit. Like, I would have respected you if you would have sent me a message and said, hey, I don't like you very much. I'm one of your biggest haters. I do a show.
You blocked him.
Like, apparently he does a show. It's not even monetized. He does a show about me. He does a show about how much he hates me, and then he does a show about how much he hates Ricky Gervais. I must be doing something right.
The level of delusion here. Yeah. Does he think no one's going to watch the actual interview? He's acting like he just controlled the whole thing.
Play the clip.
And then
no need to watch it. I summed it up perfectly.
Yes. And then I called him this name, guys. You should have been there when I was calling him this name. He didn't know what to do.
Shut him down.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so cool. Actually, I think I have a new drop for that.
Did you guys see me win that conversation?
Okay. So it gets even crazier. I can't believe this is going on. You'd think he would just never bring it up again.
Yes, but like, he's got a save face for the Reddit crowd. But he was such a sweet boy. I brought that boy to heel so nice. He was so nice afterwards.
Yeah, is that crazy?
Whoa.
He's completely reinvented history.
Hot shit. He
Yes.
really thinks he's above everybody.
Aaron, you looked completely uncomfortable and you talked over him whenever he was making a good point.
I don't like that. It actually kind of this backs up the abuse claims in a way, like in a very real way. Because if the type of person that needs to put others down is the same type of person that would choke someone out or whatever's on the documents. Like,
yeah, you know it's on the documents. I think you're getting it pretty accurate.
It's the same kind of person that would demean a woman that way. And
I'm in a thread with a couple friends who follow this closely, and they're like, imagine being in a relationship with this guy. If he can change, like you've been in arguments with people like this where they go, well, then yesterday you said this. Like, no, that's not how that happened at all. And they've already convinced themselves that things happen that the exact opposite of reality.
Yeah.
I can only
they're
imagine.
in a relationship by themselves. Like you don't even matter.
There's a reason why his wife at the time, April, was texting with his ex-wife, Ashley, about what a piece of shit he is. There's a reason why she needed to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm with this guy.
Yeah, did he do this to you too?
And the ex is like, yeah, I know.
No.
It's fucking crazy, but I'm glad that Chrissie's picking up on that.
I'm sorry for those of you who really wanted to think that Dean did a good job. I hate to tell you, he was really kind. He wrote me a really nice message after the whole thing. Sorry. Another win for the toe.
Shades of Stutcho. He got his apology.
Yes.
So fucking important.
You guys,
Wow.
you guys thought that I got schooled and I got owned? Well, guess what? He messaged me afterwards and said, thanks for talking to me.
And I got flowers.
Another win for the toe. He literally even said that. It's like, Jesus,
When
coping
he's
so
feeling
hard.
cornered, it brings out a really bad side of him, like a really arrogant side.
Yes.
It's unbecoming.
Well, he does this other thing, Chrissy, where we all see the comments that are out there. We all see that he's getting owned and it's embarrassing and he's not handling himself well. But then he'll talk about the comments that we can't see, the messages that he's getting from people.
And this guy came on and I sniffed him out like a bird dog. I had people all weekend just writing to me, messaging me, going, dude, you sniffed that out. That was incredible. That was awesome. They
all weekend, people are like, wow, Aaron, you handled yourself so well.
Everyone's
I
like,
couldn't believe it.
Oh my God, Aaron, you're so good. You're
I
just so
looked
good
at
at
I sniffed
this.
that out. The guy started asking you questions, and then you get defensive
Immediately.
And shut it
started
down.
name calling.
Yeah.
He started being
Yes.
a cunt. Yes, like a bird dog.
they loved when I would ask the guy a question and then laugh at him and go, shut up. Nobody cares what you think.
Wow. Yeah, that was great, Aaron. You really got him good with that.
You really showed him who you are.
Yeah, you're the big deal, and he's not.
Yeah.
If I was in Dean's shoes, I would after a while be quiet because I would be just so embarrassed and feel so bad for Husey.
Yeah.
Even if Husey orchestrated this.
He did.
But you know what I mean?
Yes.
You'd be like, this is embarrassing. I'm not going to dignify this.
Well, listen to what he's now trying to say. This is another day's gone by. Now he's talking to his buddy Johnny Crutches.
Yeah.
And listen to how he's trying to justify that he won that conversation.
Didn't stop laying into him. I didn't let him talk. Every time he started asking a question, I went, shut up, you. I kept calling him a rat piece of shit because he was being such a bitch. And
he was being polite and respectful. Mm-hmm. And you show that you're a piece of shit by yelling over him and name calling the entire time.
Completely lost your cool.
Yeah. This is how you win a conversation, by name calling over and over again, I guess. So Aaron is now, playing the victim, and he doesn't realize that he's created this entire world for himself. It's all in how he's handling all of this. He's doing it all wrong.
Like, you people are all target practice to me. Like, you guys are, you come in, you ask the same questions. And I called him on that too. I was like, dude, you just keep asking the same question that I've already answered you. You're just upset that you're not getting the answer you want. I'm sorry. And then he starts like trying to ask questions that he knows I can't answer. And so I just start shitting on the guy, calling him a rat piece of shit, telling him that he's a bitch. I told him, I go, if you would have done this the right way, like a man, and you would have asked me if I would have come on your show, maybe you could have done it that way. But now I'm just going to make fun of you. And then I would keep going. I was like, Dean, I look pretty good today, don't I? And he's like, well, you do look. I go, shut up, Dean. Nobody cares. So it was a great goddamn time.
Thank God Johnny's there.
Yeah, I know. Johnny just has to sit there and listen to all this. I'm sure Johnny's watched it too, and he knows it's completely full of shit.
Yeah, you're great, Aaron. Quite the sniffer you have.
I have one more clip on here. Chrissy's got some baby stuff going on. She's going to be right back. I want to thank Will Heron TV, Doom, and Stalin19, where I have all these clips that we're playing from. Thank you guys for doing this for me. This is one that I actually pulled myself directly from his show. We were doing some prep for the bonus show I did with Blind Mike Monday night. Our crossover event that's on our Patreon. Sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/Who Are These Podcasts. You can check out the bonus show I did where we did break down Monday's episode of Steel Toe going after the goal. But he also talked a little bit with Johnny about this experience.
Like, if you're someone who, like, you despise me, no offense, you're not affecting my day. Like, I'm good and I don't know who you are. Like,
do you believe that?
No.
I don't believe that for a second. He keeps talking about people on Reddit, Melton, thousands of people. You're the same as this guy and that guy.
If they don't affect you, why are we talking about it constantly?
Right. It seems like it's affecting you a lot because it's most of the show content.
Yeah.
there again, that guy this weekend that I
shouldn't say most of the show content. I hate when people do that to me. All you talk about is, I know he does news stories and stuff like that. The interesting parts of your show, Aaron.
Right.
Is where you're addressing
the clips that we show.
Yes.
pitched out that I just fucking ripped the new asshole and just fucking crushed him on screen. That guy, I mean, I beat him up so bad that he sent me a DM afterward thanking me for, like, oh man, it's just good for my channel and it's good for this and it's good for that.
Yeah, it is. It's very good for him. Everyone's talking about United States of Australia and Aussie Guy this week because of this.
And then all of those same people on Reddit, I kind of called them out for that. I'm like, you guys are all just going to whack yourselves off to this later. And like, I'm going to a beer and cider festival. Like, what are you getting out of this? And then he admits that his channel's not monetized. And I'm like, so you're doing this for, like, love of the game. I appreciate that.
Look at Aaron as being smug. Like, and I make money doing this and he doesn't.
It's the second time you mentioned that fucking festival, too.
I know. Who gives a shit about your cider festival?
I know. That's so sad.
Thank you for making me money and you none. I do appreciate that. But it's like, you're torturing yourself. You're just watching shit you hate all the time.
No. This is the thing that you don't understand. We enjoy making fun of you. Mm-hmm. I don't enjoy Opie, but I watch a show because I can make fun of him afterwards. Oh, God. What Opie was up to yesterday. We don't have time today, but what the hell is he doing? But this is the thing that all these locals don't understand. They just go, oh, well, you're torturing yourself. It's like, no, I've talked to Aussie Guy. I'm going to go on his show next month. He loves this. He's having a blast doing this. He had a fun talking to you. No one's being tortured by this. We just think
I knew we were doing the segment, and I'm loving it. We could do another hour if you want.
For sure.
That cool?
That's the thing. We got to get into Vito and what he's fucking up to. So that's coming up next. Vito's also melting down similar.
And like, it's the underpants gnomes. Like, what's step 3?
No, it's phase 3 is profit. What's step 2?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, what's step 2?
Thanks, Johnny.
Idiot. The whole point of the underpants gnomes, you moron. They can't connect the two dots. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that he actually said that he ripped that guy a new asshole.
Right.
Why? Because you yelled over him and insulted him with words over and over again, and the same insult over and over again.
Stuttering John rules.
It is literally how Stuttering John fights. He says to this day that he had Shuli on his show and he crushed Shuli. And you go back and watch it and he's just screaming over Shuli as Shuli's being calm and making some good points. I like that he says he admits that his channel is not monetized. Again, the word admits, like, that's information anyone could find out. If they go to his channel, they would know if it's monetized or not. Right. But he has to use the word admit to manipulate his audience.
Yeah, it's a confession.
He was getting stuff out of him. Yeah, he admitted. Yeah, and I realized all he wanted to do was ask me questions about Steel Toe.
I sniffed it out.
And I sniffed it out and I called him on it. And remember when he did? He's like, oh, you just want to ask me questions? He's like, yeah, of course. That's what I'm doing.
Yep.
So that's why we're here.
It's a show.
I don't care about your take on boxing, sir.
Who are these podcasts? WA